Welcome. Welcome to the show. Let's see. Oh. There we go. There we are. Go ahead and... Here's this one. Unlock it. We're gonna bring this up like the other one. Make it a little bigger. Because the center of the screen isn't all that important during forging. Loading into the map. So yeah, welcome. I've got someone interested in my Patreon page, which is pretty cool. Wants me to make him some prefabs for him to use in his own maps, which will be really cool. And he was wanting to offer me money, so now I'm talking about just do the Patreon. That way I can, you can give me a little bit every month. He wants to give me like a lot more than I'm asking on Patreon, so I figure a little bit every month. That way, if I don't live up to his expectations, he can cancel early. But so anybody who's watching that wants to do the same could definitely do that. His requests are I think it's a him. I didn't actually look. It's a Twitter account, and I forgot to look in the bio. But the point is that yeah, it's that's exciting. That would be my first patron if they go along with it. But the yeah. No, I think it's in my... should be in the description of the video if you want to check it out. There should be a link to it down in the description. The doobly-doo, as they say, over at Vlog Brothers. Boy, maybe I should have loaded in before starting the stream. Ooh. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So... last time I was on here, you would have not seen most of this. Because once again, I do forge off-stream a little bit, so you get to come back and see all new geometry. The picture that I have up on the stream isn't even accurate anymore. Why is that there? That should be turned off. Oh! Okay, so you can't actually... whenever you turn something invisible, it doesn't stay invisible. That's why it's there. Okay, cool. That's good to know. So actually, I need to move it then. I think I'm going to not do it anyway. The final version of the map won't have that. I built this. This is a prefab now. I'm gonna put it up on, you know, on the file share. Eventually. So this right here is an actual hex column they made that's in the game. You can just grab it. And it's got this cool effect where the damage gets applied there like that. Sort of a rusty effect. So what I did was I built out essentially the same thing, but an octagon, because that's what we have up here on the roof of the building, in between two convenient... well, I think these were supposed to be circles on the original. They're trying to make pipes, but they ended up being... I think they were actually octagons as well. But I didn't really see the point of making these tiny octagons like this whenever I could just as easily... I mean, like, I really could build them, but I'm not really interested in doing that because they look just like... I mean, they would fit very well as hexes. And it would fit in a little bit more with the Halo Infinite aesthetic. Most of this stuff I'm keeping very close to the... you know, basically identical to the original. But this is one area that I decided to just make it a little bit different. Are those lights? Or just lack of texture? Usually... it would, here, let me tab in and click them and see what kind of texture they have. Yeah, light bands. Interesting, I never knew those were there. So is that creating a big shadow? That the slide piece that's going up and down, making that noise in the background right now? Where is it? There we go. Okay. Can't wait to have all that dust settling. It's gonna be nice. Boom. Okay, so that going up and down, yeah, there's light up there a little bit. Ooh, that's inconvenient. Is there a way back out of this? Okay, I'm dead. Woo! Into the water. Whoa! Those hexes down below are pretty cool. I think I'm gonna make those so that they have some emissive sections, like the ones that are on there, and that'll be awesome. I'm excited about that. But yeah, okay, lights. Big ol' lights. Interesting. I never knew that. Never noticed it in all my years. Okay, so I'm going to want to put that there, and I'm going to want to make it... I think that one does not have, like, a spotlight or anything. It looks like it just glows emissive light. And so it might be better to keep mine doing the same. Let's go back over here. And actually... yeah, okay. So... let's see. Yeah, okay. So, let's not go moving blocks that we don't intend to move. When I click over, it's very important. Okay. So I actually ended up making this slightly larger than it was supposed to be, and I didn't feel like scaling it back down because it ends up being fine. The reason that like you can kind of see around here if you in the original version, and the only way that would really matter is that you could theoretically chuck a grenade around it if you were fighting someone up here, which might be cool to be able to do, but you can't actually fit behind it, according to you know, what I can tell. So basically, I just need to make sure that... yeah, let me go ahead and move it slightly further this direction, just to make throwing a grenade around it easier. And that should be, you know, good. Okay, so you can still throw a grenade around there now. I just want to maintain at least that. But it is a little bit smaller in the original. This is a 1-to-1 point that I'm okay with failing on because I built this whole thing out and I could scale everything on there down. But I messed up. I built it out up here and I figured that I was getting it right, and then I was wrong. This is not centered correctly. This is literally the last thing I was doing, was building this. And there we go. Did it again. Gotta clear that. Deselect all. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and save a little bit. Down here, I've built this out. I don't have that light yet. I believe that's gonna be a little bit of work. I'll probably start by grabbing this one and putting it up there. Because got all these lights. We have that up there is done, which was really fun to make. We have these lights. We have here, we have the column, doors, everything. I think today I'm going to copy this over, and most importantly, I'm going to start on the area down here, because that's pretty important. It might not be... I don't know if I put those at the right angle. Like, I thought I did at the time, but it's not going down low enough. And I feel like that must not be right. Like, I put them at, they're not exactly at 45 degrees. And I kind of did it by eyeballing it, obviously, from the actual you know, Halo 2 over here. Oh, they've got one of those little box lights up there. I made a prefab for that. I made a very simple one. It doesn't have the little cut corner in the back, which makes it a little bit imperfect, but that's okay. That's something we can live with because it doesn't, it won't affect the map's budget as much. Hey, we're finally at 9% on the budget, speaking of. Look at that, didn't notice it. So that one is definitely way bigger than this one. It's a totally different kind. It has a different light texture and everything. Almost looks weird. But that basically means I've got to go with a different style of design, make it a little bigger. I do still have the slope going into the light, but it's a different shape. And it's exactly as wide as that, so I guess we'll design that out first, and that will tell us how wide to make this. And then we can shrink our piece that's right there and add this underneath it. But yeah, that way we'll do that in the correct order. Ooh. Okay, so let's go back over here and build this out. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do that there. Let's add that. Okay, go back in here, show us where we got, and that'll give us. Okay, so then the question is, where should I start on this? I can put that block there and scale it and use it to make the light. And then adjust its length to match that once I have it done. Which I think I want to build this stuff out first. And actually, to build that out, I'll probably want this done. So that's the next part. Back to the roof, finish this thing. Okay, and I'm going to build it the exact same way I built this, so you can actually see how I did that. It's really simple and pretty cool what you can do in this. So here we go. I'm going to actually select one of these, I guess this one, hold down Y, no, X, go up, ungroup it. That way I can grab individual pieces, and I'm going to use them to make the other piece, this a new piece, by duplicating them. Duplicate that, it's one of these. That's how you get your angles all perfect on here. You can make it, if you go in here and you make it, you know, these two exactly the same, it becomes a right angle at the base there and creates a perfect sort of, you know, not diamond as in like a square, an elongated, you know, square on two angles to its corners, but more of a diamond as in like an actual cut diamond shape. And you can use that for all sorts of stuff to cap off with rounded bits, which was the same thing if you watched the video of me making this. Same thing I did here. So it creates a nice trim, and that's a thing that that they did a lot in Halo 2 and Halo 1 to you know, make sure everything was nice and well designed. So I'm also going to rotate it this way. Another cool thing about that is that unlike squares, come on, let's do there. Unlike like square pieces, which this is a square. And if I go out here and I go, I'm going to scale this, it, you know, comes out of one end. But if I'm trying to scale something like this, let's say I turn off magnet, move it over, and I want to make it as big as what we have over here on the little screen. I can, oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Right. Got a tab, back out of move mode, like that. So, I can come over here, and I can select it. I can go to scale. I can get my correct angles, and I can grow it, and look at that. It grows out of that end point. It can kind of be annoying because you can lose the ability to, you know, to control what you're looking at. But in this case, it actually makes it so that I can scale both sides at once with it centered and keep it centered on this roof. Because first I magneted it to there. I can also just, you know, keep it centered by snapping it to there, and that'll actually make me know I'm even more centered, because this was eyeballed, so I should probably do that. Turn off magnets, move it over here. It means I'm not right up off the ground anymore, but I can, you know, raise it up a little bit to get that little thing like that. This isn't a column, though. This is a piece of, well, I mean, it is a giant column, but it's not this kind of column. So I don't need it to match this. I can make this one go straight up from the ground. Although I could add some cool designs to it if I did that. Okay. Now let's go ahead and find out how wide we do need it. So it is basically a little bit wider on this surface, this face right here, before the cut angles. A little bit wider than this is. So if I just look at it from up here, I can see, yeah, that's pretty close to perfect. I think I need to make it a little bit wider. Like that. Yeah, that's maybe even wider. Just a hair more. There we go. Now, come back over here. Okay. Now the next thing I did to make this... No, what did I just scale? Jeez. Need to be a little more careful. I ended up scaling that, but fortunately undo worked and fixed it. Make sure I didn't undo this in the process. No, that looks good. Okay. So what we do is, what I did next was duplicated this, turned on magnets and snapped it like that. That gave me my width, which is a very precise measurement. Then I went over like this, snapped it to a corner over there, grew it this way, let's see what we have here. And line up this corner. And then line up that corner. And I figured this thing, just like these, I put some scratches on these because I feel like lots of rocks would be falling down and stuff like that. But mainly this one. That might, of course, be hitting it. I don't know. But this one over here, I figured I'd put a lot on because that thing's going up and down, you know. It might be jamming. It might be not jamming on it, but like, you know, damaging it. So that is going to be longer than that, it looks like, by a significant amount. We're going to look at it in here. And the reason why is because, actually, I don't need that back end. Okay. I just went out of my way to make it and then realize, okay, I don't actually need it. No, I don't. What I need is a lot of stuff. So this angle versus that one. I could use one again over here and make it larger, and then make a piece coming out here, or a piece coming out, yeah. But that might be easier just with blocks. I think it would be. I think it'd be easier just with blocks. Okay. Just some blocks. I think I should really quick realize I should go over and probably promote the stream. Let's see, this is Sunday, so it's day 6. Okay. Gotta tweet that out, yeah. Go. And, here we go. Let's actually go back to this so I can see chat and whatnot. Okay, now. I think that what we want to do is I think the best option is to have, yeah, I would have to do a bunch of weird shenanigans to continue using one of these. So I think I am going to delete this one. Then I'm going to grab this, turn it around, and scale it this way. Then I'm going to duplicate it. Scale that one back in to make the block okay, so we have to go off of this right here. Decide how deep we need this. That looks, it's not quite in line with this corner here. This corner is not quite in line with that corner in the original, so that looks about right. I need to bring down the damage levels on these pieces up here. Well, maybe not. I want them to be scuffed up, like the thing is sliding up and down, but I also don't want to make them so scuffed up that they're, you know, goofy looking. The scuffs on the corner, on the edges, make them look like separate blocks. That is the one downside to the damage. You can do lots of cool damage, but if you do it wrong, you can make it feel like you've got a bunch of blocks instead of an actual object. Control C, Control V. There we go. Copy that into there. You're on console. I have no idea if you're going to be able to do that, but that's a really simple, handy tool here on PC. Now we need to go to here to see how far that goes. It's not going to go to the full end piece because, yeah, it just won't. I need to do a straight edge. I mean, a little thin line coming off it as well, which is going to probably end where it's currently ending with the triangle that I just built. We're gonna go back. This. There we go. Don't mess up my cubes, please. Pretty please, with sugar on top. Boom. Okay, now we're gonna get one of these, duplicate it. Snap it to there. Keep it at a 45-degree angle. Bring it way in. Snap it to there. That's a good one. That's perfect, actually. That's not what I'm gonna do. Turn. Oh no. Turn it over with object rotation. Slap that there. And then the important thing is how this angle lines up with this this clipped corner. And I would say lines up pretty nicely. Okay, so this... Okay, so this is supposed to line up pretty much perfectly with this one, which it doesn't on mine, so that's something I need to do with scaling of my end cube, making it thinner. And then this side is supposed to definitely poke out a little bit further, like I have it already. Possibly exactly like I have it already. No. Let's not scale up whatever we just had selected. Okay. Alright. So this needs to end there. Like that. Okay. And then let's see. Oh, I know how to do it. Okay. So we're going to snap that there. Flip it over. No. Yeah. Wait, no. Magnet it there. Make it clip again. Then we're going to... I unflipped it, by the way. Okay, here we go. Bring this in here. I see someone's in chat. I don't see who they are because I'm not familiar with these streaming systems yet. But welcome. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, so basically what we gotta do is... Whoop, wrong. Here we go. We're just going to flip this back over. Grab this, bring it in. So that's lines up there. And then we can control very nicely where our big cube hits it. We can go right in, but I think I'm going to bring it out and actually leave that little scratch line there. Because that little scuff line is going to be perfect for looking like the giant hammer going up and down the pump. I think it's a pump, water pump. It's been sliding against. Okay, there we go. So then we'll snap that back to there. Is it creating Z fighting? No, it's not. That's perfect. But now it's not quite perfect in length. We need a little bit longer. More like there. And then we can... Let's start setting everything's height, so whenever I duplicate things, it stops, it doesn't need to be raised up later. Whoops, wrong button. Okay, here we go. Like, honestly, there's no limit to how tall this should be. I'm pretty sure there's nothing above this. I think this is the top point on the map, aside from what's beside it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everything. I mean, obviously there's the roof, which I have removed in Blender. But yeah, over here you can kind of see it goes straight up into the rock, and the rock sort of formed around it, I assume, from, you know, the same way stalactites form, just dripping dirty water drying on the roof. Okay, so yeah, we can make it as tall as those other columns, and that should be more than enough, more than sufficient. Actually, I might have made those other columns exactly how tall I need them to be, and yet didn't add any additional layers to the top. I might have to rebuild those prefabs. But get back out of there. Don't know how that got selected. So yeah, this one and that one, they may need to be made taller. If they do, I might take the time to scale them down, but it would be a lot of work. Don't know if I'm gonna do that. Definitely gonna make them taller though. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to make them taller. Because this, right around there, according to, you know, the Blender file, should be... I mean, it might be perfect. This one might need to be taller, but that one seems to be fine. Definitely should have added that extra cap on top. Okay, so here we go. Let's just make it up to around there, just to be sure. So we never have to worry about scaling this object. Boom, make this one go all the way up there as well. Make that one go all the way up there. You might notice the scaling tool is a little bit wonky. Look, here, you can point up and you can go up, right? On the corner pieces, if you have to go down, and then it moves in the opposite direction, which is frustrating, but probably a little bug they're gonna work out over time as a little quality of life tool. Ooh, yep, to do this one's upside down. Forgot, I was just explaining that, and then this block I had upside down and didn't notice. I've been having to deal with that the whole time, and you will too. You decide to make a forge map, you're gonna have to deal with that too. Now that is leaving 0 room for a light. So it's definitely too thick. That looks right. Okay. Duplicate it. It's all the way up there. Getting close to the ceiling now. Still not up there yet, though. This is a huge map. I mean, like, the base. Like, look at this. That's huge. Why is it still doing it? I'm well within bounds. Okay. Please don't kill me. What the heck was that? I think it's because I used the, what I did was I had it selected, and I used this button. If you press down the right joystick, it centers on it, and that put me outside the map, and then it just would not give up on that, so that's an interesting little bug, I think. But, there we go. Now we gotta give it the correct depth. Let's see. Correct depth would be right there. Okay. Did I just get lucky? Looks exactly the same. You know, it doesn't look
perfectly the same, I suppose, in that it could come out a little bit more. But also I need to check. Yeah, no, my angle's fine. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. Wow. Okay, and then this, duplicate it, bring it around. That's not what I want to do. Turn it. Bring it down. Snap it. Duplicate this. And this top part is finally an edge that we do not have to worry about being perfect because it's going to be inside the rock. That'll work. Now, there. Duplicate it. We only need the bottom part of this to be perfect. Okay, got another viewer. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Again, I can't. I have no idea where it shows you who is actually here, but whatever. I don't know if they do tell you. Like I've got it on. I had it on OBS before, and now I've got it on YouTube, and neither of them seem to have a button for it. But I'm just that new to the tools. So we have that. Okay. And now we need to get a giant light strip. Because, as we just discovered a minute ago, that I did not realize before, there's a giant strip of light inside of here. That I've been playing Halo 2 since 2004, and I had no idea it was there. So we're gonna scale as thin as we can. And then we're gonna grab this way, bring it in. Okay, so we're gonna have to angle this thing's thickness to match how big this light strip is. I mean, it might be okay how it is. But let's bring this in. Where's the nice click? I like that click. It tells me something's happening. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to click it. We're going to hit Forerunner Metal. We're going to turn it to Forerunner Emissive. And then change the color. All of the lights on this map of the original one are yellow. This, actually, this sort of pale, no, this pale yellow is what the rest of them are that I've been setting them to because it looks the best, the most accurate. And then I believe that we need to flip it over and scale it downward into the ground because it's currently not touching the floor. So that is apparently what we're looking at. Let's go over to Halo 2, where we will look up at it again. Let's see. Let's go over here. Try to take a look. Oh, we're looking at the wrong side. I can't wait to get that big ol', piston going on here, making the dirt fall, everything like that. It's gonna be so easy to script in there. Okay, there we go. So that is our light strip, and I fell. And they've got those weird lines in it. That's their texture for lights, just like stretched out a whole lot. And I don't know if that looked exactly like that in the original, but you can kind of tell it's just sort of stretched. A really small texture stretched to a very large scale. Okay, let's tap back over into here. It almost looks greenish. Makes me think that there's some kind of other color being applied. So we're going to go here and then go back in there and set it to yellow again just to be sure. I think I need to... What's happening is that this one's not set to emissive. And also not set to the correct color. There we go. So it's kind of probably mixing to make that green effect. But also, just to be sure, these textures are all kind of wonky. And what you've got to do is set them to... Let's see, wait. 0, enter. Wait, what the heck? So that should make it go away, and then you want to add it again. There are some textures. I think I'd already done that to this block, so I shouldn't have had to do that. But, yeah, there we go. Anyway, let's duplicate it. Let's dupe it. Put it over here. Put that there. And there we have our column. It's going to be real nice to get that big old sliding piece in there. We can delete this. Nope, not duplicate it. Delete it. And we can save that off. Now, tab back over to here. And, yeah. Here we go. Okay, so that's that. That's something we can now use to block out this piece. For example, it looks like this line here is not exactly perfectly lined up with that, so if we put it up, snap it to there, we slide it a little bit back, and then we start moving it out here, we can find the exact spot to put it. And once again, we can grab the railing from down there and put it up here. So, click this, duplicate it. We can bring it up here, which is kind of what I just deleted from earlier. And then we can go ahead and... Well, we want it much thicker than this, like significantly thicker. So, like that, probably. Yeah, because it's anywhere close to like this. It needs to be pretty darn thick. You know, yeah, that is, you know what, it's probably about that thick there. Which means actually we can grab that piece and put it here. Because that's pretty much very similar angles. It's actually a little thinner than that piece. So if we grab that piece and we bring it up there and we thin it out a little bit, that would be perfect. It's thinner than this piece too. Okay, so got this piece locked, so it's a little tiny bit thinner than this. If we hit duplicate, duplicate will also be locked. You go in here. I have it set to have different, oh no, it's been putting everything in feature plans because I closed the map and reopened it. So that's not what we want. But anyway, I'll have to move it. That means it's going to be, that means this new block is in here. And you can see it's right there. It has the locked icon. Just look through for that lock. Unlock it. And there you go. Now that means I need to put all of this over there. Did I delete the blocks? Those other columns that I was going to do? Because that's all that was in this feature plans menu. Yeah, I deleted that old column. Okay, so I don't even need this feature plans folder. I can you just, oh darn. I was hoping you could just click and drag to just select them all. So if we go in here, we can collect all these up, right click, move, central structure body. Well, they should all be in there now and not up here. This is now an empty folder. Central structure body, set as working folder. This one we're going to set as, nope, that is the root folder. Layout is our root folder, and this one's our working folder. I would say we're gonna move this one into the layout, because I did not mean for that to be a separate one anyway. And yeah, we'll get started again. So bring this up here. So it's gonna be a little bit thinner than this. So let's snap. Oh, come on now. Don't tell me you're not gonna want to snap. How are we supposed to use you as a measuring tool if it's not perfect? Might be because this one is too long and we don't necessarily want it that long anyway. Let's scale it down. And then select this one. Sometimes that works. And it did not this time. Interesting. I guess if that was going to work there, it would have worked on this little block. This one must just be too long. Which is frustrating, because that means that we're going to have to eyeball it to get it in position. We only need it left or right. We don't need it centered the other way perfectly. And we can make micro adjustments later. So this one needs to be slightly thinner than that by a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay. Right around there. We're gonna make them precise after I move it, which will be just about now. So they are really close to the same. I kept describing to everybody that I was making this a one-to-one map. I wonder if they really knew what I meant by that. Whenever I'm making a one-to-one map, I mean one-to-one. See, I'm making exactly what's here. I'm technically still eyeballing it. I'm not pulling out a ruler, you know, and measuring distances. But it's as close to one-to-one as you can get. That gap is going to have to be determined by comparing things in a moment down a little bit lower. Ah, we're on object location. Okay, now. Is it going to magnet now? How about this one? Will this one magnet to here? Looks like it wants to. Oh, no, I've got them both selected. That's why it's doing that. Yes! Okay, cool. At least one of them wants to snap to the other one. So that would have been a headache to try and line up. I would have actually used the scaling to line them up, because scaling is more precise in this than movement. So you can, or I would have used my mouse. Okay, you can, by the way, hook up a mouse and keyboard to the Xbox, so if you do want to use mouse and keyboard for forging, I believe that option is available to you. Even if you're not a PC player. Just pull it out of your PC or laptop if you use external mouse and keyboard in your laptop, and you should be able to slap it in. I just realized that this, and this, do they have, can I, no, I can't edit them all at one time. This has no scratches, which looks weird. This one doesn't either. Excuse me, sorry about that. We have a new viewer, it looks like. Oh no.
Really need to figure out how this works. Participants. It doesn't show me who's in it. I guess y'all have settings to hide your name or something while you're in a live stream. So. But I don't know how that works. I am still too new to live streaming to know any of that. This one's scratches don't appear to be showing up on this yeah, they're black on his face. It's just like fog. I wonder... They're better on the other side. No, they're not. That's weird. I wonder if it broke because I scaled it too much or what, but it's the same as this block. It should have the same kind of thing. Might fix it whenever someone leaves, or like whenever I save it, quit, and come back. Yeah. So this needs to be flipped and scaled downward. And then the let's see. We gotta get, basically, we want to get this height right, which means we'll compare it to this. It's basically going to be in line with the block that I have here, because the block I have here is just about the same. Oh wow, so it's a lot lower than what we have it as. It's understandable, I made that spire huge. So it's more like that, potentially, because the cave comes up at a slope. So the higher portion's up here and the lower portion's down there, cutting that off. And it might actually go down even lower. I think it does. I think it'd be more like here-ish. Cutting it in half makes it look like this isn't very tall, but it's actually huge. Yeah, right around there, I think. And then, of course, this needs to flip over because this needs to be scaled really far. Just about in line with those. Let's go over here. We can see, yeah, like right in the middle of that hex. And that's where the triangle piece is going to come up out of it. And let's bring it back a little bit, because I think I've got an eye for this kind of thing because of the I've done a lot of Blender. You know what? I think we put, yeah, I lined up the bottom here, but then that's lined up to the top. So I actually want that to be lower, and actually it needs to go into... It's a weird one. This one is not going to line up like, you know, like that into the corner. It's got to line up like... kind of like, not perfectly like this. I'm going to have to move it to the left as well. Line up that bottom part, and then we slide it this way. It will create that more like this corner to that corner comparison. So, boom. Nope, that's not what I want. Okay, there we go. Yeah, whenever you're switching between mouse and keyboard, though, be careful. There's some minor bugs that you've got to work around, and actually that I've been getting used to, but I wonder if there's anyone online that's making a tutorial for that. We want that to just basically disappear into the rocks. We're going to clip rocks into that pretty closely, because I don't know. I don't know if there is. I think that Red Nomster is making tutorials, and some other people are as well. I'm trying to remember who all is doing it. Might be POTUS? Might be. I'm not sure. I don't really remember. Or maybe... yeah, I don't remember. But there are a couple people who are making tutorials, and... oh, right. See, that's one of the things.
you gotta remember that slopes are backwards, which pointed that out earlier. Their scaling options are backwards. There we go. Boom. Is that right, or do I need to adjust that? Looks right on this side. Looks slightly too big on this side. This is so high up, I'm not going to worry about that. I've been worrying about that sort of thing this entire time, but I'm not going to. I actually don't want it to be perfect size because it does... Or not... I don't want it to not be perfect. I want it to be not the exact same scale as that. I want it to come down here and snap there. Is that the right height? Looks like it. And then we duplicate this again. Move it in. Snap it to there. Flip it over. Grab this. Make sure it doesn't cause any Z fighting with the other guy. And realistically, I want probably... Well, I definitely want to select this and bring up the rustiness to match the other pieces. Because numerically, they don't... The pieces don't all match up. That's 60. This is what? Oh, they are all 60. Well, that's interesting. Some of them, they get way rustier at a lower number than others, it seems like to me. But I might have been imagining that. Okay, so we've got that. And then we've got to go down here and finish up down here. Now this is flipped over. That way we can do this to line it up. But also its thickness is not right. I mean, I know I already moved it around to measure it there perfectly, but we're about to mess that up by making it way thicker. Because you can tell the thickness is off just by comparing to this square. Once we got that scaled correctly, made this thing look really thin. It was correct for, you know, what we had it as. Let's turn snapping off before it jumps around on us. Line up the bottom, slide it over, create that correct angle coming out of it, then unselect it. Now, I don't like that it's in front, so eventually I'm going to grab it and, like, that's not it at all. Eventually I'm going to grab it and go just the red line and go like that. I could do that right now and just leave it. I prefer that corner being there than the way it was before because this feels like a random stopping point right here. Doesn't feel right. That feels good. Feels like a good spot. Is it happening on this side? Yes, it's happening on this side. So we gotta turn it around and do the same thing. Whoa, everything popped. Okay, there we go. Nope. Feels like I did that too much. Oh, I'm on 1/8 instead of 0.001. There we go. Does that mean this side's on 1/8? It is. Okay. That was my mistake. Okay, there we go. Much better. Much cleaner. Let's go ahead and save it. Haven't done that in a little while. Okay. Now, over here, we're going to have that crossbar, which is going to be a really weird one to make. I'm not sure It's like a diamond shape. And I've looked for something like that before. I don't think there is a diamond shape like that. With this piece, if there was, you could warp it pretty easily into that shape. I looked for it to make these. That teeny, tiny little light has a sort of diamond shape. It's a little bit different though. You can see it's got like this clipped corner here and this clipped corner here. And I just could not find anything that has that shape to it. So I had to settle and only go with one side that was clipped. The side that's actually facing the player. So there's not a little hole behind those little lights on mine. But it's not the end of the world. So this is going to be a straight shot, and then at the top cap is going to be a triangle. This, though, is the weird piece. I think I'm going to have to do 2 triangles and just warp them together until I get the right shape. It almost looks mirrored. I think it is. Yeah. So I think this is thicker than that, and this is thicker than that. Because they probably just grabbed a cube and warped it. Looks like a cube. That's how I'd make it in Blender anyway. Okay, so that means we need triangles to make our warped cube. Duplicate. Here we go. Maybe I shouldn't do this one. Not only is it super long, but it has those scratch marks, and that'll have to turn off. That'll be a lot of extra work for no reason. Okay, so one slip is on top like this. And we just line it up at this angle. That is not at a 90 degrees. Interesting. That's my side rail slope. It's not at a perfect 90 degrees. That's not the end of the world, but it kind of bugs me. Huh. Anyway, because I think this is, right? Oh, you know what? Yeah, what's going on? There we go. Okay. So, if this isn't, because this is, right? Maybe this isn't. Hold on. I think this isn't. Yeah, I hadn't fixed it. Okay, this one might not be the... That's what's going on. There we go. Okay, that was the one that wasn't 90 degrees. Okay, snapping tool. Yes, there is a point to snap it to. Okay, can you give me the other edge? I guess not. Doesn't poke through too much though. There's no Z fighting, so I guess I'll keep it. And then now it's about this distance. And I think we will know that once we have the bottom part. So we need to duplicate it and flip it over. No. Yeah. And turn it around. And snap it there. And that gives us our shape. That's what we're looking for. So, diamond shape. Or warped diamond shape. Okay, and we're just gonna have it clip right through that other column because we don't need to make more than one piece. But what we're is that scaled correctly though? Let's look at it like this. I don't think it is because this is this distance, I believe. So actually, that would be really easy to scale. Yes, it is. So we're gonna go in here. Do not go into move mode, please. This is our smallest value, so that must be it. Copy that one. Escape. No. Well, that's just not cool. Okay, we're gonna go back into this mode. The console controls are definitely more stable. Wait, what? Why did this become no longer... Did I click that wrong at some point? Alright, we're gonna fix this rotation, by the way, in a moment. But we gotta go out of that. Or, you know what? Screw it. We're gonna delete this. We're gonna duplicate this. It's just too easy to do this. Like, why would we do it the other way? Okay, now it's not lining up perfectly. What's it doing now? How did making it... It didn't... Gosh dang it. Confirm, please. Now this one's wrong too. Okay, there we go. Well, now we need to snap this correctly to there again. And then we can snap this to here. I don't even know if that's a good place to snap it, but we're just trying to see what the scale is. Oh, you know what? That's not going to be as easy as I thought, because this is actually what I just scaled to match here, not that. So we need to eyeball it to make it correct. Here, I thought I had the right way to do it. No, that's not right. It won't be flawless, but it'll be correct. That's what matters. There we go. One more time. Delete this. Duplicate this. Flip it over. Let's see. Snap that into place. And snap that into place. There we go. Now that should work a lot better. Does that look like the right scale? Or did I still not get it right? It's because of distance. I was throwing myself off. Need to snap it in and then make sure it's the right scale before I can move on. Overdid it. That feels correct. Is it getting... No, it's still a right angle. It's kind of popping through in a weird way. Don't know what's up with that. But we're not going to worry about it because it's not actually going to be all that visible anyway, because I'm going to move it so that it's not exposed there. There we go. Okay, so now we want to figure out how far down the slope it actually needs to be. I'm just snapping it to a random, magnet point. So we need to see it on this angle. That's a pretty big gap compared to what we have. Actually, I can look straight down and see where it's lined up. No, I won't be able to find that angle on my other one. Better to look from the side. In game, I can find it looking from the side really easy, but yeah, definitely need more. Okay, so what I'm going to do that is I'm going to use this as a snapping tool again, but I'm going to stretch it. I'm going to move this to snap it there. Is that correct? No, I think it still needs to go farther. Here we go, bring it down a little further, like there. Okay, snap that in. How is that? Still a little more. Just gotta be creative with the tools you're using. There might be an even better way to do this than I'm doing. That's why you gotta watch more than one tutorial person. The more you watch, the more you learn, the better you'll be. I need to start watching other people's tutorials too to learn their techniques, because it could be really helpful. Okay, I think that's what we're looking at here. Might be a little bit... No, it's more than that. Jeez. Just keeps seeming like there's more. Let me move this over here just to make sure I'm actually magneting to the right spot. Yeah, see, I'm not even seeing the magnet. I might have been magneting to that thing. Might explain why I wasn't doing it. Should be a snapping point somewhere in here, but it disappeared because sometimes when you stretch the objects a little too far, eventually you lose your snap point. So we're just going to have to eyeball it instead of snapping it, which is not what I wanted to do. I much prefer snapping whenever possible. Okay, so we need to move further back to make the scale correct for what we're looking at, because I was pretty close. This is now almost 1-to-1 between the two, and now, yeah, we got that. Okay, I think this is about the right spot. And then we can move on. I'm just going to clip it into the wall, or into the column. First, at least. We'll see about lining it up over here, but honestly, as long as I'm clipping it in, I don't have to worry about one whole angle of contact. Come on now, just a bit. There we go. Then we'll move it into the wall just a tiny bit. Or into the column. There we go. And then this one we can grab and put underneath. We have our shape. It's attached. It's in the right spot. We're good to go. Okay. Of course, we're probably gonna duplicate that and snap it back into place again. Oh, jeez, are you kidding me? Okay, well, that just means I need to flip it over, turn it around. Keep forgetting about that. Even I pointed out earlier, and I still keep on forgetting about that. Okay. Now, we want that central column coming out as well, which is like this, but much thicker. From left to right. So we're going to duplicate it. Come up here. I'm sure there is somewhere we can snap it to this thing, but yeah, with all the scales we're working with, I don't think it's going to let me. The bigger you get, the harder it becomes, which is kind of sounds dirty. Okay, here we go. So let's see. Yeah, it's exactly this width, which means we can just scale it to match that exactly. Let's see if we can find a good magnet snapping point. Nope. There we go. Oh, hey. Saw your post on Twitter. Here I am. Reading chat. Hello. Sorry. Yes, I'm a little late to that. Sorry. I am very new to streaming. So, I streamed a little bit before, but I never really got the full hang of it. So, sorry if I missed you in chat a little bit there. But yeah, welcome to the show. I am reading chat. I'm just trying to keep up with it. We need to center this and then slide it. So now the question becomes, are you still here? Because now that I've caught up to you, are you still present? Okay, let's see. Duplicate that. I was just in the zone, I guess. It'd be nice if they had a chime whenever you receive a message. Like if I could turn that on. I don't know if you can. It might exist. And if you can, I would definitely like to find out, because That's something I've been wondering about since I started streaming. I've got the headphones on and everything. It wouldn't go over my mic. I might as well turn something like that on. I've put on 1/8. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it looks like I might have missed you in chat. Is this the correct way? Oop. Given that you seem to have gone quiet, I think that this is not the right way to do this because that scales that way. I actually have to make it like this. And then I need to make it, I need to scale it in this way. And then scale it this way. Here we go. Let's snap that in there. I know it's not lined up correctly the other way, but it'll make it a lot easier to scale everything because it all moves a little bit in different weird ways. Go. Yeah, sorry for missing you in chat earlier if you're still here. I need to pay more attention and I need to, like I wasn't even sure whenever I got new people. Oh, that's not right. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now we need to line up this way. Get our width correct again, because apparently I messed it up. Okay, here we go. Okay. Not quite right yet. By the way, if you're curious, my name is actually William. That's why I named myself Willforge. So, you know, just if you're curious about anything about it. Okay, so this side will be a right angle. I don't know. Let's see. Here we go. Copy this. Put it here. And this one will just go in just like that. Man, that would have been smart to have started there. Would have given me my snapping point up here. Oh. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Didn't even occur to me that it might have put this in the wrong spot, but yeah, I should have definitely started with that. This column is not in the right spot. Or it could be the wrong thickness, to be honest. Because it might be a square. If it's a square. Then, no, it is way thicker than it is wide. So this is probably right. Yeah, same thickness as this one. Jeez. So when this happens, you hit back, and it messes up your thing. You just go in here, select the world pivot, hit Y to reset it, and you should be able to pivot yourself back into position. Like that. because it doesn't change, it doesn't move the object, but you do have to, you know, you've got your two, you press up on the D-pad and it switches. You do need to switch to not the centered pivot point, but the one that's off on one end. Okay, wait, so we do have this correct, then I need to snap it. Jeez, is it not going to snap? That's going to be a pain in the ass. Okay. It's going to be real precise adjustments. Or we can make it way shorter and it'll add the snap back. Let's do that. Let's see if this works. Sometimes this works. There. We'll just make it long again. There's another tip for you. If you're foraging and you have a problem with your snapping, that's the best way to solve it. Or, well, not the best way necessarily, but it's one of the ways. If you want the snap, then you're going to need to do something about the scaling. Okay. Is that correct, though? Look at the way that angle is versus mine. It does go in line there, and mine does as well. Pretty much perfectly angled there. Yeah, that white line right there draws it for us. So then in that case, this doesn't feel right. Oh, come on now. Now you're gonna mess up that rotation. Let's rotate that. Back into position. Same problem. This time much easier to fix. Okay, now. So right here. So I think that we're gonna go with this one. With that kind of thickness, because that looks like the right angle. Which means this actually is too thick. Which also would mean that the other one is too thick. Oh, come on, that's not what I wanted. Let's go here. Object rotation. Okay. Why does it keep changing which one it is? Apparently I had a bad angle. Okay, there we go. And oh, quit rotating on me. There we go. Pressing the right trigger slightly before the left trigger. That's the problem. Okay, now here we go. There. Now that fixes the angle. Okay, so the question is, does that mean this one's too wide? Are they actually the same thickness? No, they're not. Okay, I'm good. This one is supposed to be thicker. Okay, that's great. Okay. That'll go down into that piece. Don't know how far that needs to go yet. So, that is good enough for now. Oh man. Viewers are dropping off like flies. I think it's because I didn't reply in chat. That kind of happens. I hear that's the case. I just makes me feel bad because I tried to reply in chat after a while, but I just didn't catch it. Let's see if I can get better chat. Like I'm in the actual YouTube studio. It still doesn't tell me any participants. Do I need to watch my own stream to get more accurate, like up-to-date information? Because if that's true, that's a little weird. See live. Oh, there it is.
Click on that. Did finally catch you. Knocked my mic over. Sorry about that. That was bad. Probably pretty annoying. Okay, here we go. Sorry, back to the stream. I just didn't want to miss him. And actually, let's turn off that. It's in, so I can see chat. Dear Lord, that was loud. Finally heard it on my own stream. Okay. Okay. I'm just the worst streamer, apparently. Just the worst. Okay, here we go. Let's get back into it. I think that what we're going to do is... Oh, I never set this thing's height. Here we go. So I apologize for the, for the mic drop. For everyone who's there. Sorry. Let's see. Okay, now this thing... Now the downside is that these side walls on this thing is not... You know, they're not exactly the same as this one whenever you scale it. Let's see. I was just thinking about... I'm going to use it. Yeah, they have to scale out in both those directions. So we can't use that one for... Oh, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. This piece right here. These on this one have exactly the same length here as here, so I'm gonna have to build it out with triangles and squares, which is the best bet, I think. Okay, cool, let's do that. And they need to be this width anyway, so I'm gonna grab that and use it. Duplicate. So, looking at this. And then we will scale up. Stretch it this way. Oh, hey. Hey, sorry I missed you. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Charging your phone. Makes sense. There we go. Glad I didn't totally lose you. Let's see. I have heard, though, that if you're streaming and you end up missing someone in chat, it can basically make everybody else leave. And I think that that is what just happened, because I should have paid more attention. Okay. Here we go. Just gonna snap that to there. Look at that, we've got a straight line. Now we don't have it correct for the thickness or its location. So we need about... Oh, no. Don't do that. There we go. Okay, now.
Now we gotta turn this around. Select that, bring it in. And flip that over. Bring it up a bit to match that angle over on the left there. Looks right. Am I? Yeah, okay, cool. And then flip it back upside down again and scale it down. Oh, no, not that. Just this one. Scale it down for the top. And that will get us this here. And then we have both, except we don't have both just yet. That's still not correct. I think that it needs to come down a tad, and I actually went too far on this side. Get you off the TV, but I can't type to you from there. Makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, it's better than what I do. I usually watch streamers on the toilet, so. Or just put them on my headphone while I'm doing dishes or something like that. And I never reply in chat hardly at all. So. You're being a little bit more attentive to me than I am to most streamers. I stream Rejected Shotgun a lot. I think he's great. He makes those Halo 3 mods and stuff like that. Let's see. What happened to my duplicate, and why did it move everything? Okay, that was a weird little bug. Here we go. I might need to turn my... I had turned my own stream on so I could see. And I might need... I'm going to have to mute it, because hearing myself talk back to myself is really bad. Maybe really quiet. There we go. That'll... Hearing your own voice talk back to you the whole time you're doing something could probably drive someone insane. Yeah, see, look, I even did that angle wrong whenever I wouldn't have gotten the angle wrong if I was paying more attention because I didn't have the mic in me. There we go. Okay. I still wish that it would tell me with like a chime whenever you send something. I guess that would that would drive, you know, the more popular streamers insane, because as they are trying to make their stream, it would just be going off like crazy with people constantly sending messages. And they don't really need to support smaller time streamers to the same degree. And so they probably are just, or like to some major amount, so they probably don't have the development time to devote to creating something like that. But it would be a useful tool for newer streamers if they had it. Be able to just like hear when people are sending you a message. I bet that exists. I bet there's some kind of plug-in somewhere that you can get. I bet I could just go look around and find it. Yeah, exactly. He'd just be going insane. He'd probably be raging about it too, knowing him. He'd be freaking out. He'd be telling people to shut up and chat just to get him to stop. Let's see. Gotta get that right. There we go. Now it worked. Is that perfect? Yes. Yes, it is. Interesting. Got lucky. Or I use the tool right. What am I doing? I gotta duplicate that first. Sometimes I don't take advantage of the tools as well as I could. Meaning that if I use the snap to like 1/4, a sniper rifle or something go off. Oh yeah, so what that is actually my reference. You'll see I'll show you in a second. Okay, so did I get lucky again? Or is that once again just using the tool right? Crazy. Okay, well, that is my reference over here that you're hearing. That is Halo 2. That right there is this. That's sort of my, I sort of left it on, left the audio on like a sort of ambiance, a Waterworks ambiance for the stream while I was building it. I don't know if it actually works as an ambiance or if it sounds any good at all. I figure that it kind of, it'll work better once I have it looking like a cave on my version, like a murky cave. It'll sound like a cave, you know? Yeah, no, it does sound like a video looping, but it's just this. I suppose if I leave this up instead of like, you know, Blender, my 3D model here, this is my other reference. I'm going off 2 different references. The actual game from Halo 2, and then I've got Blender open with a downloaded file that somebody ripped out of Halo 2. So it's the exact, you know, 3D model there. Which is pretty cool. I hope that this makes it, you know, elevates the quality of the map a lot by referencing exactly what the original one looked like. I saw the Blood Gulch one, and that one looks like a ton of fun to play. But what? I need to duplicate that. It does, you know, while I'm making all this effort to do this, I'm watching that, and I'm like, oh man, imagine if they had put the effort in. The difference is though that theirs is done and playable right now. I'm sure someone will make a perfect 1-to-1 version of Blood Gulch and coagulation eventually. I do what Unique does. What does he do? Is that because of like the detail? Oh, the reference for the 3D models. I see what you mean. I think that's what you're probably talking about. I actually haven't watched his streams. I've watched his YouTube, like his videos, but I haven't watched his streams. I think or at least I've watched some clips of his or something. But I need to check out his streams too. But since I'm streaming, you know, I don't really have the time. I was originally going to go even crazier. I was gonna use the Halo. I was gonna open it up in Halo 2, and pull out the sniper rifle, and I was gonna use the scope in the sniper rifle to measure my distances, because it's got the little meter, you know, distance in meters. And then I was gonna use the scope in the sniper rifle in Halo Infinite and measure my meters, and I was gonna make everything precise, like perfect precision. And I got into the actual Forge mode, and before I even realized how dumb that was, like how much extra work that was going to add to my, you know, workload, and then, yeah, it pulls a Blender and goes onto Halo mod tools and gets all the coordinates. Exactly, yeah. And, oh, right, he makes mods, yeah. And he's making stuff in here. So he, yeah, I was gonna use a sniper rifle and go really dumb and really crazy with it, and just, yeah, I don't know. It would have been a mistake, is basically what I realized. I was like, that would have made this take forever. Oh, and then I realized also the sniper rifle in Halo Infinite does not have that classic, scoped, like, you know, measurement scope. No, he doesn't make mods. You're right. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking of somebody else, but yeah. But you're right. I think that's the best way to do it for remaking maps. Is he the guy who remade, what do you call it? Guardian? Because if he is, then I remember better who he is. I know I watch him because I recognize his name. I'm just trying to remember exactly which streamer he is, because I've been watching a ton of different streamers that I'm not used to lately, because of Forge, specifically. So I am going to use just one triangle here to save a little tiny bit on budget, but I'm going to use this to line it up first. And I'm going to move that down so it doesn't get in my way. And snap here. Yeah, Guardian and just finished Lockout. Oh, yeah. I did see he tweeted that out about Lockout. Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, he's really good. Why isn't this snapping? I don't know if you've played with Forge a little bit, but I don't understand why the magnet tool is kind of inconsistent. And if you have any idea how to make it more consistent, I would definitely listen. Aside from, like I said, I think earlier, that if you scale it. Guardian version 2 may be up soon since you can't port leaked map files over. Yeah. So he had to rebuild it. That really sucks. But that's a lot of work. But I'm sure he's happy to at least have Forge like I am. Like, this is a ton of work, but man, is it exciting. I can't, I mean, it doesn't look exciting, but it is. But yeah, I don't use magnets since I work with terrain. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, the terrain tools are... I haven't actually gotten into the terrain yet, obviously. I'm going to make the floor later. And then I'm going to make that. You may have seen my tree prefabs on Twitter. Oh, I have. Oh, yeah. That's right. We were chatting on Twitter. Yeah. I definitely have. I haven't actually gone and added them to my prefabs folder, basically. I haven't, like, downloaded them yet. But, in your file, grabbing them from your file share. I'm pretty sure we're even friends on here already. I could be wrong. I might have followed you already, but I was definitely going to grab those because those look amazing. That willow tree really blew my mind. Like, all of them look amazing, but that one was like, it's so gorgeous. I think, can you make it sakura trees, like cherry blossoms? Because I had an idea for a map that would require those. And I would 100% use those. And I'd probably rip into the prefab to tweak it a bit to make multiple different slight variants to make them look different. But what had happened to my... Oh, I had snapping on. Didn't I? How did it snap up? Okay. I need to turn that. I'm going to redo it. I'm just going to delete these and recopy them. That would be faster. Or, no. I'll snap this one back over here and start mover with the movement. But yeah, I don't plan to do any other, or to do other types. Oh, okay. Well, I will try to make some then myself, because I had an idea. So I have this idea for a completely vertical map. Well, obviously not 100% vertical, but it's something that I've never seen done before in pretty much any first-person shooter, I don't think. Where basically I wanted everything to take place on the side of a cliff with a few like caves and either natural or, you know, Forerunner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put cherry blossoms up at the top, and I'm going to create a waterfall. And between those two things, you're going to be able to sort of locate yourself vertically, because I'm going to have cherry blossom petals, if I can, something to simulate that, and have it where they're slowly spreading out and blowing in the wind, so you can look off the cliffside and see the arc of cherry blossoms, and you can see the mist of the waterfalls, and you can see them sort of spreading out and moving in certain ways, and that'll eventually, as you get good at the map, as you get used to the map, that'll be your way of sort of, aside from the cliff wall and the shape of the cliff you're standing on, will be how you like triangulate yourself on the map, so that you can instinctively know where you are. But yeah, I'll try to work on a cherry blossom, but since it uses lights to color, the pink is more noticeable for clipping.
I had an idea for red maple, though. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Well, since I'm probably going to put the cherry blossoms up above everyone and not actually, like... I might put one or two on the side of the cliff, but I don't think cherry blossoms cling to cliff sides. So I was mostly going to put them up at the top so that the petals could fall down. So they'll kind of be like a set piece really far away. So if they're far enough away, will the clipping be a problem? Do you think? I mean, obviously, you don't have to dedicate your time to making it if you still don't want to, but I'll, if I make it, would it be a problem for me to do while I'm doing it? Is, I guess, because you're now the tree expert in Halo Infinite. At least as far as I'm concerned, you're the tree expert in Halo Infinite at this point. So I'm just waiting for your reply because there's that lag, and I'm sure you may have even said something or anything like that. But yeah, there's good references for cherry blossoms on Ghost of Tsushima. If you ever played that game, I own it, or well, my wife owns it, but I don't actually. I haven't actually gotten to play it yet. I mean, I could have played it, I suppose. Saying I haven't gotten to play it whenever it's it's gamer haven't gotten to play it. It's that I could have played it. It's in my library, but I've been busy playing Halo. So, but I do really want to play that game. It does look really amazing. And I know actually my mother-in-law had started gaming recently, and she is like obsessed with it. Let's see. I think I need to go and actually magnet this side. Then I need to duplicate that and scale this in and make a square here. But yeah, that'll probably be what I'll do. Is I'll look at Ghost of Tsushima and like some pictures of real cherry blossom trees, but having an actual video game reference is a great idea, because that means I'll have like I can base it off another artist, a better artist than myself, and stand on the shoulders of giants, as they say. And that would definitely be a great idea. Let's see. Go. You can also kind of hear the leather of sort of Master Chief glove from Halo 2. It's kind of actually funny to know that they used a leather sound effect, even though it's supposed to be made of like titanium. What is it? Titanium nanoweave they call it. Don't just love having a map named Test. Yeah, I just named mine Waterworks. I was just like, yeah. Or what do you mean by that? If I'm missing what you're saying. I actually always feel like I need to have that locked in to help me with the inspiration, actually, so I always end up renaming mine to be whatever I'm planning to make it. Like I made a Mombasa Streets was probably my favorite map I made in like Halo Reach, and I'm probably gonna remake it here eventually. That's the wrong button. And that one I renamed immediately so that I could pretend like I was actually, going into a real map before I got into it. Because Infinite, you have to name your map every time you start a new one. Oh, that's true, yeah. Hello, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Yeah, I think it is working apparently. I hadn't been creating them. I don't know if you've joined into my previous streams, but I had, okay, this should actually line up this time.
close enough. Yeah, I had been. I wasn't posting anything to you know, Twitch. I think I did once, but it was after the fact or something. I don't remember. And I think that the yeah, I wasn't getting many viewers before. Let's see. I actually got one person on Twitter who's asking me if I will make some prefabs for them. And they want to pay me for my time. And that's pretty cool. So I'm pretty interested in that. I guess he saw my Forerunner structures because it sounded like, because he wants me to make Forerunner stuff. He must have seen all this and was like, well, he's pretty good at Forerunner stuff, so. And that, so I just told him I've made a Patreon, so not to plug my Patreon or something, but just to explain. Okay. I guess to plug my Patreon, to shamelessly plug my Patreon, but not really intended for that. Wow, that worked out pretty much exactly. Yeah, it's halfway down. It's supposed to be halfway down. Perfect. I think I do need to scale this a little bit down, but I need to, I can snap it there and then duplicate this. But yeah, after this, I'm probably going to make, I might make that guy some prefabs, like I was talking to him about. But while I'm also doing that, I'm going to be, the next map I want to do is going to be a more original one, not a remake. And then after that, I'm going to do Sidewinder, because this is my second favorite map of all time in the series. My favorite is Sidewinder, but because I wasn't sure if they were going to have snow. Obviously, they had snow objects, and that's pretty awesome. But without a snow, you know, prefab, I don't know if I should start on Sidewinder yet, because it won't necessarily come out right. Is this not... Didn't I make this all the right width already? Interesting. Okay. Apparently this was slightly off on all of these little triangles. Well, giant triangles that I pulled from up there. I guess this one will be 2. Oh, you know what it is? Yeah, I know why it is. It's actually because the strut, this strut, I had to make thinner so that it wouldn't clip out through there. So that's why it's all thinner down here. Oh. Okay. Did I make them correct? Yeah, okay, cool. That lines up. Perfect. So, Sidewinder is one of my favorites. I like Big Team Battle, obviously. I like Sidewinder. I like Waterworks. I like, I actually like, some people don't like the remake of Sidewinder. That is Avalanche. But I actually like that one a lot in Halo 3. I always start off by killing the enemy's tanks in Big Team Battle heavies. I guess I do prefer the heavies variant, the one that they where they forged some additional content into it with those crates and everything like that. Makes it really cool. Makes it to where at least I prefer it anyway. But I'm weird for that. A lot of people hate that map for some reason. I like the chaos it brings.
But, yeah. Where's my snapping? There we go. Okay, that's a little better. I didn't have that in the right spot before. It may still not be in the right spot, to be honest, because I haven't scaled this yet. So I might have to tweak it a bit, because I just based this off of where it was here. But honestly, this does look pretty close to right if it's not. This part is what needs to be scaled. And then I need it to come down. That angle is going to be really tough. I think. Yeah, the triangle's going to not work there. What is the best way to do that? That's going to be a weird angle to pull off. This triangle going down into this like this. If I put a triangle here, it's going to poke out with a corner like that. So I'll probably have to figure out a way with a little triangle here first. It's going to need to be a corner, which actually I have not had to use yet. I think there is one of those. Let's go ahead and save it, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm looking for, because that looks like in ramps. I think there's a corner, it's lower. Here we go. Oh, it's got a base too. Will the base be... If the base is inside the shape, it won't matter. So then the question is... Oh wait, will this even work here? Yes? I feel like the best thing to do would be to duplicate this first. Rotate it, snap it in. Right around. No, I'm messing myself up with this thing. Get rid of that. Okay. Can you now snap to that? This is what I mean, like the snapping isn't even showing up for this thing. You'd think it would, but it's not. And that's kind of frustrating, because that really makes it harder. So then you make it smaller, and sometimes that works. Yep, there you go. Boom. So that's a tip. I was going to call it a pro tip, but while I'm sort of potentially about to get paid, you're not a pro if you're not getting paid, right? But only because that one guy is wanting to commission stuff. So, okay, let's see. So does that count? If it's just like one time. Okay, let's see. So then we're gonna scale up and over and see if this is going to work here. It's not working right now. So it probably will have to be a different... I'm grabbing the wrong angle, I think. Okay. We want this slope here to become part of that slope. So we need this corner to snap there. Right? Or do we need to turn it around? Okay. Let's see. I need to find the right side that's going to scale the right direction. I think this piece is going to work, but I have to... Is that... No. Okay. I think it's going to be... that I have to go... okay. This is going to be tricky. So obviously I need the point to be over here, because I need to all get wider on this side. So then I need to make... I think this might be one of the only pieces in Forge right now
that has a single triangle as its face, other than an actual, triangle. But then the triangle has... Am I doing this right? Or is there a way to just do it with this? Because now I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, well, what if I just... This is why sometimes Forerunner objects are kind of challenging in Forge. Why did it just switch on me? Okay. It's because I'm on object instead of world, so it's going to make it really tough to rotate which angle it's going. Okay. I need this face here, this triangle face here. So... But in previous Forges, since you didn't have... okay, yeah. I think that if I rotate it at an angle this way... I was about to say something, and then I lost my train of thought immediately because I realized that I was thinking something about this. Okay, here we go. That needs to go in there. And I don't know why it's... Is that not my... Hold on. That is my squared corner. There we go. Now, I'm going to have to rotate to get the correct angle instead of scaling, which is going to be tough because it just is. Where is its pivot point? Okay, over there. Alright. Oh man, mirroring this is going to be just as hard as making it, I think. Okay, so we're going to put this back in the middle. This is a high concentration moment, I guess. Here we go. So I got to get it off 45 degrees. Let's see, about 5 degrees that way. That's almost flawless. Obviously, I've got to go one more this way. And that is flawless. Okay, that's great. That's fantastic. So now I need to scale it this way, which means I need to line it up here and scale it this way, like this. I think I'm doing this correctly. Poke through there, and then I need to go world rotation, and I need to pivot on that corner, but unfortunately I can't do that, so I'm gonna rotate like this. Is that correct? No, not world. It needs to be object. There we go. And then snap it here. Okay, 45 was wrong. Because 45 would be if I was trying to rotate a different kind of object. Let's go 50. Nope, that's not what I want to do. This way. Not 15. That's not going to line up. No. Not quite. And so now we can... Now it's just a matter of tweaking it until we find the right spot. Since this is the attachment point, it's kind of also the pivot point. Okay, this looks right. And then scale it this way. Man, this is really weird. Really weird. Oh man. And now I'm getting that angle wrong. Can I scale that way? No. Even if I get this at the right angle, I think it's gonna... right? This was my straight edge that I needed to keep, wasn't it? Oh, geez. I put my straight edge over there, and I think that this is my straight edge where I was supposed to keep it. Okay, so that means that I need to... I'm going to actually duplicate this object and put it off to the side, just in case I want to go back to it. And then I'm going to rotate 45 degrees this way. I think I'm going to reset the rotation of this one. That's why I made a duplicate. So I was on, this was my straight edge right here, right? Yes. So that's the one I need to keep. Like this. And then I need to rotate 45 degrees that way. And then I need to scale it. Right? And then I need to rotate it to match this angle, which means it's not actually 45 degrees. It was there. Boom. And then I need to do one more back. Let's see. Oh. There we go. Snap there. Now I've got that corner. And I can scale this way. Man, this is going to be something I should prefab, because this is tough. I think there are going to be some people who will like this. If I can get this to work anyway. Because now I'm seeing, once again, it doesn't quite line up with what I'm looking at here. And I think that's because... You know why? I think... Because I'm trying to make it different than it actually is. I'm flattening with this one, I need to flatten it with that one. Because as... Yeah, that's... Oh, right, I was doing this earlier, and I was just getting to this point. The first one. And then I got to... I'm on object. Yeah, I am on object rotation. What trees are you working on right now? Quite. Jeez. What happened to my straight edge over here? Is this possible? With the fact that I've got my triangle here, my different directions are not lined up to, one of these points. It's kind of lined up to this one. Which is why I had put that one there with this one. Whoa, what just happened to my camera? This one thinking that, that would make it possible, but I've just ended up in the exact same position that I was before. Because I can't grab this corner and bring it in here, which would correct this angle. Okay. If I were to see, or to think about this. Okay, the only option left is that the right angle, that the straight edge needs to be, assuming this is even possible with this piece. The only possibility left is that it needs to be touching this piece. So I'll try that and see what it is. Trying to make a blossom? Oh, cool. I appreciate it. That's gonna be awesome. Are you still running the same problem with it being slightly transparent, or no, glowing, causing clipping? Because you said so you just recolor with lights, you said, which is really cool. I would definitely like to hear more about that, because that might be something I'll need to do in the future too. Let's see. Okay, snap there. What did I do? Okay. Depends on the color chosen. Okay. I might have found the right angle to do this at. This might be right. It's definitely more promising than it was before. Dang. No. I don't think I can. Yeah, I think that no matter what I do, there's going to be a big old triangle poking out with this piece, which is frustrating, because otherwise it would work great. It's just impossible to scale, because it's because I need to scale specifically this side and not that side, and that lines up with one of these. And if I rotate it, I still need to scale this side, which means oh no. Shouldn't that mean that I could... I don't know. This is madness. Okay. I'm going to drag this away. I'm being crazy here. I think I'm going to go back to this one. I think this one can scale in those ways, because you can just do this stuff with that point. And then use the coordinates to scale. I don't actually at all, practically. Whoop. I probably could at some point, but most of the time I don't, because I can eyeball it really well. What I do is I bring it all the way down, scaling snap to 0.001, and I will adjust it until it's perfect. And I might be losing, like, not taking advantage of a tool that could be very useful by doing that, but I feel like it seems to be easier to me and quicker to do it this way, which is important because for me, I will probably not even get it done if I don't do something quick. You know? For a whole map anyway. I'm sure that making prefabs probably uses a different technique. You may be able to get the angles you want using them. Just a thought. Yeah, I might be able to. That is true. I think this piece is going to get... Okay. If I rotate this one, am I running into the exact same problem? Is this piece lined up exactly the same as the other one? Because it goes down into a square. No, because it has two sides that are triangles. So now I just have to figure out which side to put it in the right place. Oop. Well, geez. Of course it messed up its rotation. That's something that's been bothering me a lot, is that sometimes it just breaks. Okay. So if the problem comes down to that the square can't be on this side, so I have to have a triangle side on that side. Which means... I think I need to point it up. Like this. No, not like that. Ugh. Okay. Just to show you a place where this piece came in real handy is that it made this triangle really nice here, where it's a slope here, and then it goes into a different slope over there, and this is kind of what I'm trying to do right now. And then these pieces were a pain in the butt to make, and I'm making those into prefabs because they'll be really cool to just be able to slap into any map. But obviously I need my point there. I just need to think about point control, basically. That, I think, is the way that it needs to be done. I think I need to scale it. That'll get me my point. Yep, that's it. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's just a matter of figuring out now exactly how it needs to be done. I think that needs to be like that. We bring that up like this. And we bring it this way. Bring it down again. And then we need to rotate it by... We don't need to rotate it. We need to scale it this way. Right? Or we do need to rotate it. Okay, let's see. Oh, that was the wrong way to scale it. Okay. Yeah, we need to rotate it. Like, it looks like it's a good close to 90-degree angle, but it's not. You get that point and that point to touch. So yeah, rotate. By... Right? Now I keep on being like... second guessing myself. Okay. I feel like this is the piece that we need, and it's just a matter of figuring out exactly how to get it to work. You're right, coordinates might work, but I haven't messed with them too much in that way. That appears to be continuing our slope in the right angle. It's the wrong. There we go. But it's not, because this is the correct place to snap it, is right there. Okay. And right, this might be telling me that this needs to be adjusted. I thought I could just rotate it like this, but I don't think I can. And I think I need to... Oh. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. I think I figured it out. I think that this is more correct, and that is that part of the problem is that I didn't have this piece correct, because this actually looks like the correct amount, and this was, I was trying to keep it as a perfect, like, 45 degree. Oh, it looks awesome. Tried pink on here, but it doesn't work properly with all the clipping points. I think this is the correct way to pull this off. And that actually looks correct compared to the 3D model. It's not fully pink, it's like white with pink spots on it. Oh, okay. Is that because of the dirt volume, the dirt on it, or how does that... I just haven't, I haven't seen what... I can't imagine what you're saying right now, unfortunately. I would love to see it. But, yeah. Is it... With the spots, I was just thinking, does it have to do with the dirt, but I'm probably way off. Have y'all seen this, by the way? Whenever you... Let's see. Like, I want to put this on Forerunner, right? One direction. Gotta remember my ABCs. So, I go to Design Grid. Okay. This is the same thing. Forerunner. Okay. And what you see is, like, they're different shades, right? They're, like this one and that one are different shades of gray, and it doesn't match up with this one. But if you go in here, the way I figured it out is press this and go back out, go back in. This color intensity appears. You click on that. I'm using my mouse and keyboard because that's easier, but obviously you use your controller if you're on console. Press enter, set to 0, go out, and it fixes it. So some kind of color that's built into these objects as a default, and it's set to not 1, or set to not 0 rather, and you have to 0 that out. Check Twitter DM. Okay. Here we go. I haven't gotten a Twitter DM yet. Oh, there it is. This probably because it's a picture. Clipping point. Oh. Interesting. Here, I'll move this onto... Can I middle click that? Yeah, that'll make it a different tab. Let's see. Oh, I can put it up on here onto the stream real quick and show what you were talking about. Oh, what? What's happening? Jeez. Chrome is lagging for some reason. I don't know what's happening. Just like completely messed up. Chrome of all things. That's not right. ADHD. Probably have it. Okay, now it's sort of working. Okay, cool. Just had to minimize it and bring it back up. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so you're talking about like this, where like the color just sort of stops here? Or rather that the color is hitting the trunk, and you don't want to hit the trunk? Because, yeah, it does definitely look really odd. And you're saying it looks spotted? From a distance, like I was saying, if it's up on a cliff, Do you see that little round edge on there? Yeah, this isn't this what you're talking about? Like where your aimer is, kind of. That's more noticeable on pink. Yeah. So most of your trees don't have to worry about that, because I guess because if it's like a green shift on brown, there's already green in brown, so that makes sense. The pink is the opposite. It's like very flamboyantly opposite, almost. So yeah, I can see what you mean. And since it's done with lights, it's not like retexturing the leaves or anything like that, so it's not coming out right. That makes sense. Would that still look okay from like really far away? Like if it's up on a cliff, like up high, and all you can really see is the treetop, do you think? Or would it still basically look as bad? Certain shades of pink don't show up as pink. It mainly shows as a bright green or white. I see. Yeah, that's no good. Oh, you know what I can do? I just thought of something. So I can duplicate this and rotate it. Nope. Thought I had it on 45. Rotate it 45 degrees. Oop, is that the right way? Yeah, that's the right way, I guess. And snap it to here. Is it clipping through? It sure is. So then I need to make it much shorter. Make this sort of a hollow block. And that will allow me to find... Okay, so apparently, yeah, I had a 45-degree angle there. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Already figured that out. That was part of the angling it right. If I scale it to get rid of that, I'm going to have a, a stripe of that block there, because I can't scale it this way, and I can't scale it this way without ruining my angles. So, it's stuck. Oh, Twitter. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So it does look it's like neon, I suppose, and looks a little strange. But it does look pretty... I mean, if I do the lighting in my map right, if you think about it, since you're basing that on lighting, if you alter the lighting of the sun and other factors, that's not what I wanted to do. If you alter the factor, or the angle, or the coloring of the sun and all that stuff, it might allow you to fix that. But only under certain conditions. Like if you change the color of the entire scene and then you add that soft pink to it, will it work? Like maybe make everything sort of like a western where it's a little bit brown. Will it kind of dull the pink of that? I don't actually know. That's a real question. I'm just like, maybe this would work. Ooh. And if you do, you want a sunset check? Sure. If yeah, definitely. You could try sunset, try at night. At night might make it worse because it's lights, but, you know. Man, I'm just glad I found that angle. That was tough. That was tough. And now I've got to mirror it. And I don't think it's just going to turn around. Because it was about rotation as well as... Maybe it does. Look at that. Is that going to work? Or is that wrong? Yeah, no, it's wrong. But I can use... This is where I can use the scales, I think. Wait. Oh, it's this way. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't want to change it. Okay, and I'm going to have to accept that as just something that's there. And do this. Whatever you do, don't use volumetrics. What's wrong with volumetrics? The volumetric lighting? Is it, like, broken or something? Let's see, I've been grabbing metal scratched. Sometimes adds that rust effect and sometimes it doesn't. Whenever it doesn't, I go down to a thing that's not always available, but on the ones where it doesn't, gold metal adds a rust effect. And at least I'm pretty sure it's not available on some of them. Let's see. Very low. Yeah. It's I know some of the lighting is messed up because didn't they tweet out that one of the options is not working, which I haven't even messed with yet, so. Did I pass it up? Yeah, I think I passed it up. I was not looking at it. Gold metal. So, Twitter, cool. So, sunset. Oh, okay. Okay. That's interesting. Hey, is that the bug? Wasn't there a big pink square that would envelop us during the flights? Is that the same bug? Do you think that is? Like, still there in the game, just, you know, sorted out with their map or something? I wouldn't be surprised. Sometimes solutions to bugs are very strange. Okay, I'm saving this because I never want to have to find that angle again. At least, not in this case. I'm sure I'll have to find it again on another map at some point. Let me put that onto the screen, by the way, so other people can see how crazy this looks. Look at that. Sunset is really making it. It's like neon glow. That would be kind of cool for a neon glow, though. Like if you're making a cyberpunk. I couldn't remember that word the other day. I was talking to somebody. I'd hopped into his map, and I was helping him figure out what was going wrong with it. And he was like, he had a very cyberpunk aesthetic, and I was trying to tell him, I was like, you could lean into that. He didn't really think about it at the time yet. Or at least I don't think he had really thought about what the effect it was on that, you know, on his aesthetic. And I was like, it looks great. I think it'd be great if it was, you know, to lean in on that. And he was like, okay. But I was just like, I could not think of the word cyberpunk to save my life. On the bottom, I can just clip right in. Look at that. Look how easy that was. I love it. So much better than having to deal with that top part. And the same thing is going to apply for the side walls, so I can just clip it. There we go. I will have to adjust the depth though, because the depth shifts whenever you change the angle, and that is in the original map. This is thinner than this is, and then down here is way thick. So I guess now, because of the samurai, you know, because of the fracture that has the samurai, I was especially interested in sakura trees. But now I think that there's going to be a gold rush to that. I think the first person who figures out sakura trees in some weird way is going to get a lot of attention because, first off, they're gorgeous. Probably one of the prettiest trees on the planet. And secondly, because just like I was saying, it's going to be like a gold rush. It's going to be, whoever figures that out is going to get a ton of attention on social media. Like your willow tree, I think, is the same thing. Like, it was so good. That was such a great one to start with. I think that was the first one you did anyway, that you posted, because that was the first one I saw on Twitter. And yeah, that blew my mind. I was like, wait, you can do this? I didn't even know you could do that. Like, that seems like breaking the game almost. How'd you figure that one out? Okay, what am I doing here? What did I do wrong? Okay. What I'm doing wrong is that I'm looking at it from the wrong angle, and I've got it on object. I need to go to world. Okay, so just trying to turn this thing around. Why can't I seem to think of a way to do this? Object. Yeah, it keeps changing on me for some reason. It's got to be the camera angle. Oh, come on now. Is it because I've got the object in angle? Okay, no, that's not it. Okay, left, left, left. Oh, no, it's doing something weird. What is it doing? Wait, am I doing this wrong? Oh, it's because it's not a right angle. Oh, I'm dumb. I thought I could just flip it around because I thought it'd be a right angle. But I forgot this is not a right angle. Okay, I'm just being dumb. Okay. Oh, Twitter again. Sorry. Missed that. Let's see what you got. Oh, that looks nice. That looks really nice. Let's see. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. What did I do here? This one, click on it. Now, open image in the new tab. There we go. Now, pull this up again and drag this up here. That looks really good, honestly, because the whole world is red, so it being red doesn't really matter. And if I have a sunset coming out over the cliff, that means there'll be a bunch of, like, dynamic shadows on, you know, on the cliffside, which would be really cool. Like, it'd all be super dark, and I'd be, like, the light would be coming down from above, and it would be sort of like, and the water would be coming down from above, and the petals would be coming down, and then I could have, you know, some Forerunner cut caves and lights and stuff like that, just trying to find a softer pink. Yeah. So this is without volumetrics, or is this that you found the sunlight to where it works with the volumetrics? Since I don't know what you're doing, to be honest. It's very, my exploration into lighting so far has been this stuff. Maybe I'll do a walkthrough of what I've built so far, but, like, So like I haven't even adjusted these to be the correct like size of light and stuff like that. For example, without volumetrics, yeah. So that's without volumetrics. Here I've got, this room is really cool, but it's way brighter than it is in the original game. And that's because all my, well, first off, it's because I'm not in a cave outside. So I've got like this, you know, midday, not really midday, but morning sunlight coming down here, mixing in with all of this. And then on top of that, I've got this in a, you know, not only is it that, but it's also, everything's way too bright. So this room is like super bright and way more bright than it's supposed to be. I'm also going to change up this area. I don't especially like all this. These door frames. They look kind of cool, but they end up looking really out of place because the rest of the structure is like blocked out. And either I'm going to get rid of them or I'm going to make the rest of it look good, look fancy. What I'm looking at is, my plan is this one's going to be 1-to-1 to the original one, the original Waterworks. So it's going to look kind of blocky. But then, oh man, did I move this somehow? Or did I scale it? Basically, yeah, it's going to be, yeah, I did. I scaled it at some point. That's no good. Delete that. I don't even know when I did that. So whenever I do this, whenever I, let's see, well, first I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to snap it inside the other one. It's the correct height. And then, yeah, every time I switch to back and forth from mouse and keyboard to this, I risk accidentally clicking something. And this is the first time I've actually messed something up because of it. Let's see. Turn off magnet. Okay, that should be right. Not quite. So, there. Okay. So yeah, I'm trying to make this one 1-to-1 to the original map. I'm gonna send you a proper in-game picture in a sec. That's good. Yeah, with like the baked lighting and all that. That's gonna be cool. Okay. So we need to duplicate this and snap it to there. That works. Perfect. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this one over to here and then lengthen it. Then I'm going to delete this one and copy it back over because I was trying to figure out how to flip it around, and I think the best way to do it is just to do it this way. To where we'll go over here. And then I can just scale it this way. No problem. So then, duplicate this one. Yeah, it's red this time, by the way. Oh, you sent it. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, interesting. That's really cool. Actually, you know what? Sakura trees come in multiple different colors, and that would also help like players be able to locate themselves on the map, like to know where they are. And that was the whole point of it. I was like, what can I have falling down? And then I immediately thought of the, you know, Yorai, you know, fracture, and I was like, oh geez, I gotta do that now. That's definitely what I'm doing. This thing's getting in the way. Just gonna move it out here and then snap it back into place in a minute. Surely this can snap here, right? Oh, come on now. Don't do that to me. Oh, right. I remember now. Really? Jeez. I'm gonna have to adjust this to the exact right coordinates. This is where I could really use the coordinate system to work. I don't know. Is there a way to like scroll wheel your coordinates in the coordinate system? Because that would be perfect. Being able to just slowly move it over. I think this is where, though, what I'm actually going to do is use this, turn off magnets. There we go. That should work. Mouse and keyboard is a game changer whenever you're trying to do geometric shapes. No, I didn't do it quite right though. I think though it's left and right that's wrong. I think I had it right that way. I think it says too far to the left. Sorry, that's like probably me making really weird faces. Jeez. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's probably this whole time, though. I'm just trying to focus on what I'm saying here. Let's see. That's probably it. Okay, you can type in a number. Okay. So... So typing in a number would definitely help in some precise moments, but what I'm mainly worried about is whenever I'm looking at these angles, and I'm not looking at world units. You know what? I'm dumb. Okay, it's already in position, so I'm going to show you how I could have done it. I could have scaled it down. Whoop. Scale it down like this and make snapping work, right? Because the scales, I keep saying, are the problem. And then I could have made it longer, right? And then I could have clicked on the move and I could have changed move type. There, now I'm looking at, you know, object movements so that Z is lined up perfectly with my angle. So then I could have hit Control W on my PC and done this. And then deselect all. And that is flawless. Well, no it's not. I didn't bring it all the way down. Looks like I'm just slightly poking out there, but it's really close. And all I've got to do is Control W again and turn off magnets before I click. Then that's perfect. Jeez. It's but yeah, with the numbers or the coordinates, I will use that probably for everything on this thing is sloped. Like this whole building practically, I mean obviously they're vertical things, but practically this whole building, the really challenging stuff has been the slopes. And the slopes have been, you know, it's just like one thing after another with them. And lining up things like this. That would have been the coordinates are really helpful, but what they don't do is they don't handle slope well. least I'm not aware of if they do or not. And it's what I just did, where I just now adjusted that. That's what I should have known before. But what I'm wondering is, now that you mention it, let me see if I can do. So I'm in that kind of movement mode, right? So if I go in here and I go off of the location, like you were saying. That's size, transform, position. Is this world units? Now that or is it still world units, or because I switched into, object movement, will this change? And that is what we will find out right now. It was Z. Yeah, so this is still world units. Okay, that didn't undo. That's frustrating. It just undid that and messed it up. That happens all the time as well to me. I don't know if anyone else is running into that. But yeah, so if I type in a number, it moves in world units, and I'm struggling to figure out a way to... Or I have been, until I think right now I finally... Jeez. Found this way is probably a very quick, intuitive way, if you have mouse and keyboard anyway, to go boom, turn off magnets, switch to... How do I change move type with the... Okay, 5 if you're using keyboard, and then just slide it down. But yeah, you're right, I should be using coordinates for other stuff. Oh, I did it again. Look at that. Apparently while eyeballing it, don't see that edge correctly. From far away. No, wait, what? No, I did something wrong. It's not snapped right. Oh, dear Lord. Gosh, okay. Reset. Rotation. World. Let's see. First, turn it to the correct. Yeah, there we go. Angle, okay. Hey, it's snapping to this side. The problem is it's snapping to this. Let me move that away again. It's still not snapping. Okay, here we go. Like, these tools are really amazing and powerful, and I love them. And this is gonna make some amazing game modes, and quite possibly revolutionize all of gaming. In my opinion, like, if people aren't getting on board with this, they're insane. Not like getting on board like making maps, but getting on board with Halo Infinite after this. They've got to be like really set in their ways, like refuse to accept it. Refuse to accept that this game is amazing. I think that this thing somehow got moved at some point. Okay. Let's see. Like, for real, this is gonna make... Like, just being in game... Like, Roblox revolutionized gaming. As much as I, never play it. I've never really played Roblox. But it absolutely revolutionized gaming. And, like, the people who are playing it are getting to... are playing all sorts of different modes. And I think a very similar thing is happening here. And it's just, we're at the very cusp of it. We're at the start. This is not magneted to the right spot. There we go. Sometimes it magnets even whenever it doesn't say it wants to magnet. That's probably because it's just magneting to something inside the structure somewhere, and I just can't see it. But I don't know. Let's just go inside there. Cool. Alright. This is looking good. Obviously that's going too far, but... Or it's not going too far because it's going to disappear into the ground. Man, your sakura tree is a really nice little pretty picture down there. That is really nice. Yeah, I think that could definitely work. I think you're right though, that pink does look really neon. The red though is looking like fantastic. And I think they come in white as well, but I have absolutely no idea if you can do white. There's a whole... My favorite movies in the world are, like ever made, are Sanjuro and Yojimbo. And and I always forget which one is the second one. Jeez. Sanjuro is the sequel. In Sanjuro, they have a whole point where they throw cherry blossoms into a river. And they, like into a little tiny stream. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's so good. They throw cherry blossoms into a stream as a signal that, you know, as like a sort of like a military kind of thing. Well, really more like spies. I don't know. The point is that they throw these you know, blossoms into the river, and it flows downriver. And if it's white, then it's one thing. If it's red, then it's something else. I believe it's maybe I shouldn't spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, for what it means. But basically, yeah, it's really cool. And he like throws a whole bunch of them in the river. But yeah, and it's a great scene. Okay, so I think we've got that built out. I think I need to pull up Blender again to figure out what the next shape is that I'm building here. So obviously it's just more of that up here, but it's different down here. So I can actually just select, and all of those, duplicate, bring them down here, and snap it in like that. No. That's off center because the side, it's snapping to the side panel. And that's not what I want, because that means it's going to poke out over here. Impossible to white until we get a snow version like Halo 5. Okay. Alright. So... unless you use probably like 1,000,000 tiny objects and build out your leaves. That might be possible. Just grab a bunch of snow blocks. It would be really dumb. But it would be hilarious. Okay. This is kind of the right height. Oh, there we go. Finally snapped to the right spot. Okay, cool. And this needs to be a little bit longer, which this one's the right side, the correct side, so it's going to be easy. And this one, unfortunately, I already got it right. And now we're looking at much better shape. I think it might need to be longer, though. Or something. What's the difference here? Did I not get the measurements right in the first place, so now the whole thing is thrown off? Oh, I know, I see what it is. I think. Yeah, that's supposed to be right there. Okay, alright. Yeah, look at that. I don't know if you can see that. We'll zoom in on it. This underside is supposed to bend right at that point. And I did not do that. And that would be why it's giving me... why it's not looking right. Okay, so... I don't know what I'm looking at. Jeez. Let's undo that. And hopefully I didn't rotate anything. I really need that. I really hope they fix that. Transitioning from mouse and keyboard to controller is just awful. I mean, I could just pause it, I suppose, whenever I click over here. And come back. It's actually whenever you click away from the game and click back, it really messes things up. And there is a way around it. Guess I'm just being dumb. But yeah. Okay, so this one's thickness is much thinner. Much thinner down there in this thing. So if I copy one of those, there'll be a lot of adjustments going on. Okay, duplicate. Oh, what am I doing? Huh. Oh, I had duplicate instead of delete. I just realized that this piece here is actually what I want to go all the way across. And it should come back here. I have a tiny little triangle back here to finish out that angle. And that I just built it a way that I shouldn't have built it. That also means that, oh. Well, that means a lot. That means I'm going to collide with that. That means I need to move all of this up. Or scale it differently, which means it needs to match differently with this. Or it means that all of this needs to be adjusted down. You know what? Yeah, actually. This is lined up with the building. And that's lined up with the building. And this is lined up with these. All correct. So that's got to stay how it is. Which means this needs to be lower. But it needs to be lower in the same way that it needs to be further down. So this is not the right length, and that's the only problem, and everything else needs to be snapped to it. Which also kind of means... yeah... okay. Yeah, this whole thing is basically off, and I need to make a bunch of adjustments. So, including those I just mentioned, and this just moved. Why did this just move? Wait, what? Did I scale this somehow? Okay. Don't know when I selected this and scaled it. Oh, it was just now. What is happening? Jeez. Okay, well, I messed this thing up, so I will delete it and grab the one from over here. Duplicate it. Snap it in there. Okay, whatever. Really need to stop messing up other parts of the map. It is getting to that point where... oh, geez, when did this happen? It's getting to that point where there's so much on the map that it's really easy for me to accidentally select something. This is rotated, I believe. Oh, come on now. Okay. I think whenever I click off my screen, I really need to pause it, because I'm messing everything up every time I do that. Or messing up random things. I'm going to redo them. That's going to be a problem. I won't know what's messed up until I like play the map and go find it or something. I'm going to have to QA test it. So anyway, this is going to be reset. The location is going to be turned down like this. I did not do that the way I normally do it, but that'll work. Okay. So I need this to be underneath. I guess it could be this thickness here. Could determine it as well. Like, hit tab into edit mode on Blender. So if I... Here, I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna use some Blender scales real quick. I'm gonna Shift D that, which is gonna duplicate it. Which, then I'm grabbing it, hit escape, it's gone. Or it's not gone, it's still there, but it's up there. And then I can scale it. And I'm gonna go with local, no, normal. Scale it up this way. I'm going to delete this in a moment, but for now I'm using it to visually bisect this so I can tell how thick it is on each side, which I haven't been doing a whole lot of crazy stuff like that in Blender, but for this, but so you saw how it had selected that just now. Basically, whenever I click back over here, before I do anything, I have to hit the left bumper to deselect all. Make sure I'm not selecting anything, and then I can move on. Okay. Oh. Okay, so my angle might be correct, because now that I'm looking at it up close and comparing it, I think that this isn't big enough here. I accidentally did that by an interval, but that might... An interval I didn't mean to do. That might be close to correct. Okay. Okay, here we go. And then I think these need to be... Let's see. That's my line there. This feels more correct. But I also need to rebuild this anyway, because I just found out that... What? Oh, this one. That this is supposed to stretch across there. A minute ago I did, I guess. That was a while ago now. Before I found out I messed up that other thing. Here we go. Bring this across. I'm just going to have it clip in there for now, and then I'm going to adjust that in a second. I'm going to put a tiny little triangle here, probably, to make that work a little better. Which means that... right? Or, actually, wait. Yeah, because it needs to be a tiny little triangle that... Tiny little triangle that goes across the whole thing. Needs to be at this angle. Needs to be really small. Okay. And poke it out. Just bring it in. Perfect. Okay. I think that got that right. Now we got some Z fighting from this thing, which needs to be raised up and snapped there, and then I can bring it down into the correct size. And this is not a perfect triangle. Look at that. So we've got our long side, copy that, and short side, paste there. There we go. Oh, I'll have you on the TV. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so there we go. That looks nice. Which means that we have our, we know how far we need to go now. Well, not perfectly, but it would be cool. I know you can attach objects to other objects in like the physics, so that like you could have like a. I was watching Red Knobster's tutorial on making a door with a hinge, which was really cool. And what he did was he attached the objects to some balls, some regular just round balls, and those round balls had physics applied to them basically, and he stacked them, and then he like attached a door to one of the the middle ones, and then you put them in a tube, and they sort of just like hinged like they work just like a hinge with the physics engine, which was really cool. You could like run into them and they would just move, or you run into the door and it would move, and it was super cool to see. But what I'm looking at, you know what? First of all, this apparently is not measured correctly to
this. Oh, what I was going to say was it'd be really cool if you could somehow attach objects to part of an object and then scale that object, and it would move all of those objects together. So like I could attach all of this to the end of this piece and then scale that down. It would just grab these and drag them with that end piece of this. Like with a magnet. Like attach all of these to a magnet, and then every time you scale this image, or this like strut, it would just drag them with that magnet point. But that would be really tough to make, I think. And it would go into like grabbing for 3D model points and stuff like that. It'd be kind of weird. But that would be something that I would love to see as a future like addition, if it was possible. Let's see, we're gonna change the movement type. Yeah, so object is just that. Okay, is it because I started with that one? If I start with this one and then I click on all of these, right, and then I go, yeah, there we go. That's beautiful. So now what I can do is I can actually go over here, so I can see that little deal, and so I can see this gap here. I can hit Control W, and there it is. There's my tool. Just bring it up. Look at that. Then I can hit Control W again, deselect all, and then I can select this, and scale it in. Jeez. That looked, now after doing that, I feel like that could be like a tip. Like I would love to make little shorts that are like just tips on the little things I've found out, the quirks. Like that was super useful. The first thing you select is the, object rotation and scaling and movement. So I was able to select that one, get that angle, then select everything else and drag it all up there in that exact angle, which is something you do in Blender all the time. It's like nothing in Blender. That's just like, it's a matter of course. But in in Forge, it's not necessarily something that everyone would think of. So that's the kind of thing that could go into a little tip, like a little, the YouTube Shorts. I was thinking about doing something like that. Just because that would be, it's just making them. I have to edit. Editing is what takes me time. My computer is, good enough to run Halo Infinite with, like, I have the min-spec graphics card that the game suggests to use for AMD, and that's just, it's the absolute minimum. But you probably can tell if you have a better one, or if you're on console and you're looking at my stream, it's not just the stream that's causing mine to look worse than yours, because I have an Xbox Series S as well. Not an X, because they're so hard to find, but I have an X, and it's like, I usually just play on my PC anyway, though, because it's just so much nicer, and because I have kids, so they're trying to get on the consoles themselves. I realize that this is not tall enough. Not quite. So basically, it's just easier to stay on my PC. And, oh geez, that's gonna ruin everything. No, it's not, because I didn't change the angle. I just have to select all of that, and then snap it. Deselect all, reselect these. Man, I had to undo. That was dangerous. I could have completely wrecked my there we go. Oh, I'm still on object. Okay, so I think I need to scale this up first, because those angles are not wanting to work.
I was about to do this, and then I saw that I needed to do that other thing, and I was like, doing it in the wrong order at that point. But yeah. So for Forge, though, this brings a whole set of tools. Because of the fact that I can just, you know, I can switch between PC controls and console controls. Okay, come on now. What is it snapping to now? It's snapping down there or something? Okay. Wrong. Delete. So I can use my I can use the controller whenever I need to, and it's really smooth and easy to use. But then I can every now and then grab it with the mouse and do a different kind of manipulation, which is really helpful. But then there's stuff like this where it doesn't matter what you do, it's going to snap somewhere wrong. Which one is it picking? I don't understand. Where is the snap? Alright. Well, if you're going to say everything I do is wrong, then I will do this instead. And that's a great example of what I was just saying. It's like, sure, it's ticking me off, but eventually I can sort it out by just grabbing it. Okay. Don't think that's where I wanted to snap. There we go. Sometimes if you look at something, it snaps there. If you look at a snap point, it snaps where you want it to be. And then other times, you look at a snap point and it says no. Okay, come on now. There we go. And that's kind of annoying. But these are the... That's why it's in beta. I'm glad that they call it a beta. To be honest. What is happening here? Oh, I'm scrolling, I'm scaling on the wrong angle. It's supposed to be X, I guess. No, that was the angle I did. Y. Right? No. Wait, I thought I turned it around so that I could have... Oh, I must have done something wrong. Okay, left, and now it's back. And now it's left again, and now it's back again, because it just flipped my, it was flipping my rotation tool. Oh, and now I don't need to scale it. Okay. That's cool. I like that. I don't like this corner down here being like this, though. How did this get... Did I actually undo that? I must have at some point. And apparently I messed this thing up at some point. Or no, wait, never mind. That's that angle. Okay, here we go. That makes this big ol' annoying thing. Here we go. daughter just woke up and came in here, so I'm probably about to go feed her. So I might end up having to go off the stream now. That's basically what I do. I wake up, I come in here, I stream as long as I can until my kids wake up, and then I go off and feed them. Okay, so I will say that this is all, like, it needs to be longer. So before I go off and do that, I am going to see about, like, this is probably how long it needs to be. So it needs a snap here. And then I can extend everything else. Yeah. Which means this one's going to be a pain in the butt again. You know what? This thing's going to continue to be a pain in the butt. I'm going to copy this. 987. 9.87. And then there. Now it needs to be rotated. Of course. Of course it's going to change. Did something happen to this thing in all of that? What the heck happened? Okay, something didn't take. Oh, okay. Okay. Needs to be okay, this one is 16 and then 9. Oh, there's this bug. Can't deselect all. Gotta select something with the mouse, then I can deselect all. I don't know what's causing that, but so 16, 9, so then 16 has to be the bottom. So 0.87. Then I Control V there. Right? Yeah, except I somehow hit a button. There we go. Now this one is actually able to be scaled in the correct direction, so if I ever have to adjust it again, I don't have to worry about that. Or if I prefab this and somebody else wants to adjust it, it will already be in the correct direction. Or they can flip them and put them on the opposite sides really quickly and easily if they want to increase it from the opposite direction, but yeah. And that will be way nicer to have to deal with than this. The same thing is going to happen here. This is the same thing as well. 987.87. And then boom. Then now I need to... Did it just not take? Yeah, it didn't take. Confirm. What is it doing? Is it... Okay, it did work finally that time. Okay. Okay. Okay, there we go. So it's really coming along now. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna delete this. Nope, wrong button. Delete it. come down here. Grab this. This is the last thing I'm gonna do before I go feed my daughter. Not that. First I need to... I didn't just mess anything up, did I? Okay, good. First I'm gonna duplicate it. And then snap it. Like that. And then I'll move it over here. Deselect, whoops. Gotta reselect everything. And then I'm gonna come up here. Then I should be able to see the tool from up here. I can. And I can barely see though if I'm going left or right. Oh, I'm moving by world unit. Half inch. There we go. I have no idea. Okay. I'm gonna have to move down here. Get a better view like this. Here we go. Much better spot. Let's see. Yeah. Looks good. Oh, wait. Yeah. Is that how I have it over here? Yeah, the corner is visible. Okay, cool. And then down here, last bit. All of this is... Wait a minute, did I... What happened there? Weird. Is it poking out over here? Is it not high enough? Did I accidentally somehow magnet to something that's slightly lower? Kinda looks like it. There it goes. Okay. Okay, bring this in. Oh, going by 1/4. Okay. And then bring this in. Definitely prefer the way it looks on the other side, which is to say that this continues down like that. Which means to slide both ever so slightly this way. Cool. And there. Okay, yep. And over here. Down. Oh, that's weird. What did I do? somehow There we go. That looks better. Okay. Alright. So, pretty soon, I'm going to be able to start on other stuff. I was planning on building up and down. That's why I named the stream that. I was going to build this part of the building out. But this was a lot more work than I thought. This part especially. That little angle right there was crazy. And yeah. It's pretty cool. It's coming along very nicely. I think there are probably some lights in here somewhere that I probably need to add at some point. Because I've been looking at the 3D model instead of the game. I tab over to back to the game. Struggling to switch back over. So yeah, we got this side. I go to the other side. The game, but it's really, you know, it's Halo 2 where it came from. Okay. Yeah, so there's a light there, which I don't think I have added yet. No, I need to add. And I don't see any others. I mean, downstairs, obviously. But up there is what I was mainly thinking of. Ooh, that's some lag. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I need to probably close Master Chief Collection and Infinite and reopen them because I've got Blender, Infinite, Master Chief Collection, and a whole bunch of tabs in Chrome, and then also OBS and streaming all at the same time on this computer, and it's just, it's struggling. It's a good computer, but mostly because I've got really good RAM and processor. I got a, like I said, min spec for Halo graphics card. I didn't do that on purpose. I got it on sale during Black Friday, and then like 2 years ago, and then it just turned out to be the exact min specs of Halo Infinite whenever they announced it. That was before they even announced the min specs. Okay, so yeah, I think we're good for now. I think whenever I start up tomorrow, let's tab back over. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this up. It's just like a couple more blocks right there. I'll probably do this off stream, is finish that up and maybe start building down here. And if I can finish down here, then next stream might be starting on actual cave and stuff like that. I do need to put the little crenellations on this side. This little rock surface here is actually how I scaled things. I started here. It kind of looks like crap down there because I just stopped trying and started using it for scale. But like I started off here and made this the right size and went off like that. And then once I had that, and well, actually, technically, I started here and then I put this here, and then I started going around. And yeah. Now we have this. And I'm going to put this whole thing up on the prefab. I'm also going to chop these side struts off as to make them into a prefab right here with the lights and everything. I still need to duplicate that and then invert it. And I'm going to upload them once I have both of them and have them both inverted. Or have this one inverted for the other one. And then I'm also going to do the whole building. And I'm going to do these little angles here, which were like 2 hours or something stupid like that to get just perfect. And they just, I'm really happy with how they came out. And they were like the first thing I did that was like really detailed. And they're like plug and play. This one I do want to adjust because I put a whole bunch of damage on some of these blocks and didn't remove it by accident. So it kind of looks like crap in some areas. But that one is like flawless. And so let me know if you see anything else in here that you want me to make into a prefab. This one right here is a, well, this is technically the prefab. This one I broke out of its prefab to adjust it. But this one is an actual prefab, and I'm probably gonna fix it up a little bit because this isn't super helpful for anybody else. It was really helpful for me. But what I'll probably do is cap it off like these are, and make the exact same size as these whenever they haven't been scaled, which I believe they currently haven't been scaled, but I could be wrong. I'll probably match my column to these in scale before, yeah. So you won't be able to scale it entirely because it's a prefab, but I'll give you one that is the same scale as the default of these. And then, trying to think of anything else. I think this could probably be turned into a prefab, this shape here. I mean, it's huge, so it's not going to come in super handy, but you could, for example, if I clean up the ends, so make the, you know, all the points match up and stuff like that and be really good. You could turn it on its side and use it as a column for a lot of structures in Halo. That'd be a great Forerunner, like, angled column for, like, an entryway, like, put two of them, one on each side, a doorway. But yeah, and then this strut system here, honestly, the whole thing might be a good one just to put as a single prefab. There's a lot of little cool stuff like that. And then I've also was thinking that whenever I get the thing going up and down, I might release this column with that thing riding up and down as a prefab that you can put into your map, and then have it do the hammering, pumping sort of thing. I assume that's a pump to get the water moving. But that would all be really cool. So there's a ton of stuff in here that I'd love to release as a prefab. And just make it, you know, perfect. These lights are also really cool. Like that light right there could definitely be a prefab. It's a TV. And then some, what was it? There were, oh, well, I can go see. Vent cap. A vent cap and then a straight vent section. And I flattened them. And then put a TV behind them, and then change the color of the light of the TV, and then put a spotlight in between them. And then I've got these lights, which came out pretty cool. This is like two of this kind of light, the Forerunner light with H with light. Forerunner light H with light. Two of them clipping into each other inside the wall. And then this is a human light with no light applied to it. So a couple of these things maybe are cool and clever, but not really worthy of being turned into a prefab. But there's a lot of them here that I think could be really cool for people to be able to throw into their maps. Like this strut, for example, was a lot of work, but it came out so nice that I think that it'd be cool for people to just throw into their maps for Forerunner structures in general. But yeah. Okay, so if you have any other requests about anything in here that you want me to turn into a prefab that I've done so far, let me know, and I'll throw one together. But yeah, I'm gonna go feed my daughter. She's hungry for breakfast. All right, thank you very much. I'll see you guys next time, I guess. But I need to know, how do you end this stream? Just kidding. I just have to pull up the right programs. There we go. All right, cool. I'll see you guys later.